document is currently outdated, last updated January 12, 1920. Note that outdated Foundation practices and procedures may differ from current standards. Updated documentation is currently under revision by Level 3 staff.
Item Number SCP-2695. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-2695 is to be monitored and housed within Humanoid Containment Level 1 within Site-04. Personnel may be required to escort SCP-2695 should she find difficulty in walking. Requests from SCP-2695 for entertainment, conversation, or other needs may be put under review by Dr. Pritchard before transference of requested materials. Description: SCP-2695 is an elderly woman originally residing in Montreal, Canada. SCP-2695 is 68 years of age and identifies herself as Lucibelle Perhacs. SCP-2695 is by all means a non-anomalous human being and is of average physical and mental health. SCP-2695-T refers to a number 5 sewing needle embedded within SCP-2695's aorta. SCP-2695 claims that the wound was recent, but no damage or punctures were found to have existed internally or on the epidermis of their chest. SCP-2695 also claims that she feels no discomfort or pain from SCP-2695-T's presence. Since SCP-2695's initial containment, an additional 3 sewing needles have appeared within the right atrium and pulmonary valve, suggesting that SCP-2695-T is currently self-replicating at a rate of 1 needle per 2 weeks. Attempts to surgically remove SCP-2695-T have been unsuccessful thus far. Despite the usage of X-ray imaging, personnel have been unable to extract SCP-2695-T without causing harm to SCP-2695. Discovery: SCP-2695 was reported by Reconnaissance Agent Gersey at the Montreal General Hospital in Canada on the date of November 25, 1919, claiming that she believes she may have suffered a fracture after falling at home. Local doctors located SCP-2695-T's placement within the subject's right hand, which gave Agent Gersey incentive to notify a recovery team. Disinformation efforts were effective in diagnosing SCP-2695 with a rare disease, allowing Foundation personnel to escort SCP-2695 to Sector 8 for further analysis.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Perhacs. I trust that you have been feeling well since your arrival.
Yes, I admit I didn't realize how serious this accident was until you told me you were bringing me to America. Goodness, my heart was quite stricken for a moment until one of your kind gentlemen explained the situation.
Oh, I can imagine. As of now, I just decided to come by to ask you a few questions about your life before you were diagnosed with this, condition.
It's quite all right, Doctor. You don't mean that day at the hospice, I suppose?
Exactly that.
It really was an uneventful thing, you see. I had my sewing kit so I could fix some of my youngest's vest, Mark, and I tripped. Oh, and you know why it was torn? He was on that silly rope swing my dearest Les had set up in the yard. God rest his soul. And he went ahead and allowed it to be torn on a tree branch, even when I told him.
I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but if you would please keep this transcript related to the event that caused you to choose this sea care, that would be especially helpful.
Oh, apologies. But yes, he had torn his clothes again, and I dropped my sewing kit. No, more like a sewing crate. It's become such a passion for me. So yes, I fell down while carrying it part way down the stairs, and my daughter found me prone. Quite an ordeal. But there's worse that could have happened, and thankfully I wasn't hurt too bad from the fall. I'm not the toughest missus out there, but it's going to take more than a fall to knock the breath out of me, see? Oh.
So, no real pain in any of your limbs since? That is to say, your arms and legs?
Not at all. But these days I have been feeling a bit weakened of a sorts. Likely that it is my age. You young men are busy fixing up a cure, I presume?
Yes, ma'am. Though this is really something we haven't seen before. All we ask is for your patience, and we may be able to find a solution to this peculiar case.
I see. Well, technology is a wondrous thing, and you people are quite well versed in it. Wondrous that it's progressed so much. I have my faith in you.
If it should give you any comfort, your condition is providing a lot of information for me, and I can assure you it will be used to help many others. Thank you for your time, Mrs. Perhacs.
I can give any amount of time, Doctor. I've lived a very good life.
Site Director Avery Lennox, August 21st, 2003. Due to several oversights by 3 certain personnel, including questionable freedoms granted to SCP-2695, failure to document several interactions and alterations regarding both SCP-2695 and SCP-2695-T, and tampering of data related to SCP-2695 and Site-45, reprimands for all 7 personnel in charge of managing SCP-2695 have been dealt. I have selected a handful of Level 3 personnel to salvage what little data was procured from this utter disgrace of a project. Please send the finished article to me ASAP, so that I may review it and assure myself that there is no further unnecessary bias towards this anomaly. Item Number SCP-2695. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-2695-A is currently being monitored in Sector 24's Medical Bay. ISO Chamber G2. Neutralization of SCP-2695-A has been scheduled for May 15, 2016, following review of past interviews and current agreements with SCP-2695 via communication of SCP. Description: SCP-2695-T is a number 5 sewing needle previously embedded in an elderly female human known as Lucibelle Perhacs, referred to as SCP-2695. SCP-2695-T is unable to be observed through eyesight alone, but may be viewed through any form of digital imaging or recording. Prior to this discovery, it was believed that SCP-2695-T was intangible and was unable to be removed from Lucibelle Perhacs through standard surgical methods. When left embedded within any living mammalian body, SCP-2695-T will begin to self-replicate exponentially throughout the subject's body. Manifestation of new instances of SCP-2695-T are somewhat random, but appear to replicate within close proximity of other instances. Abnormal longevity has also been noted in SCP-2695, though it is unclear whether this is a property of the current human subject or the needle itself. Researchers have considered the possibility that SCP-2695-T is a parasitic organism. Closer inspection of SCP-2695-T will likely be possible once subject SCP-2695 expires. Possible relations to SCP-2825 and SCP-2745 are under investigation, though background checks on all 3 individuals have found no overarching relations between each individual. The usage of the Perhacs family name in all instances appear coincidental. Information derived from the anomalies, namely POI Mark Pritchard, are the only relation between Lucibelle, Jacob, and Linda Perhacs. and has been deemed uncredible. Date: December 25th, 1919. 2695T instances 4. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Needles situated throughout subject's aorta and pulmonary valve. Subject reports no discomfort. Date: October 30th, 1920. 2695T instances 29. Alteration in subject SCP-2695. Needles have spread throughout the subject's torso, notably within the epidermis, skeletal system, and organs such as the lungs and trachea. Subject reports no discomfort. Date: October 30th, 1924. 2695T instances 63. Alteration in subject SCP-2695. Smaller amounts of needles have appeared within subject's extremities and cranium. Needles located within subject's torso have multiplied, manifesting in close proximity to other needle instances. Subject reports no discomfort. Date: October 30th, 1928. 2695T instances 150 plus. Alteration in subject SCP-2695. Needles continue to increase within subject's organs and tissues. No obvious health issues have arisen for multiple needles located in subject's brain. Subject reports feeling stiff in the afternoon. Date: October 30th, 1932. 2695T instances 1500 plus. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Subject reports that needles have begun to inhibit movement. Needles appear to be manifesting solely within muscles for a period of 3 months. Researchers also note that all needles seem to be able to shift freely within subject's muscles without creating tears or ruptures. Date: October 30th, 1936. 2695T instances 4000 plus. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Subject has been unable to leave its bed. Heavy manifestation of needles has within subject's sensory regions occurred during months of June and July, including within subject's tongue and throat. Subject reports discomfort, but has stated they do not feel any pain. Date: October 30th, 1936. 2695T instances 10,000 plus. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Most of the subject's organs have suffered severe atrophy due to high quantities of needles. Subject's skeletal system has been entirely displaced by sewing needles. Addendum 2695-01. Shortly after subject's body composition reached 38,000 plus needles on the date of June 23, 1945, researcher Whites noted a protrusion on SCP-2695's right hand consisting of a single instance of SCP-2695. SCP-2695 testified to attempting to use the instance of SCP-2695-T to create a puncture wound from within their hand but was unable to. Date: May 1st, 1945. 2695-T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Approximately 19 needles are noted to have grown from the subject's right hand, protruding approximately 0.4 meters in a thin, cylindrical shape. Subject's epidermal tissues are confirmed to cover the entirety of all 19 needles. Date: May 9th, 1950. 2695-T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. 6 needles have begun to vertically protrude from the subject's forehead, cheek, and chin. The total amount of needles in the subject's right hand has increased to 76 and have continued to extend from the subject while covered in epidermal tissue. Notably, tissue is not created and seems to have been relocated from the subject itself, as evidenced by the movement of scars and birthmarks from the subject's hand to the tissue covering the needles. Subject has refused comment. Date: May 9th, 1953. 2695-T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. 24 needles have manifested while connected to the aforementioned 6 needles. Rather than extending straight out, the 24 needles have appeared to have connected to each other in perpendicular and tangent fashions. Subject's epidermis continues to remain present and grow on all needles extruding from the subject. Subject has refused comment. Date: May 9th, 1956. 2695T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. More than 80 needles have appeared in the needle cluster connected from the subject's forehead. Unlike the needles in the subject's right hand, instances of SCP-2695T are generated similarly to how they appear within the subject. Because of this, several dozen needles of varying orientation and position are connected to the subject's forehead through tube-like nodules of epidermal and fatty tissues embedded with SCP-2695T. Despite their constitution, these flesh-like nodules remain supported upright through unknown means. Subject has refused comment. Date: May 9th, 1959. 2695T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Subject claims to have awoken to find the cylindrical growth of needles located on the right hand, last measured at 1.5 meters in length, with 130 plus needles physically connected to the subject's forehead needle cluster. Ligament growth has been noted between certain instances of SCP-2695T. Subject has refused comment. Addendum 2695-02. Information on SCP-2695T growth. It may not be entirely clear what the needle cluster located near the forehead may look like. The best possible explanation I can give from the current state of the subject's growth is a misshapen octadecahedron with random beams and lengths connecting within and out of it. There's no obvious pattern to SCP-2695T's replication. It is, to be apt, hundreds of needles positioned at random angles. Date: May 9th, 1962. 2695 instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. The rate of needle generation outside of subject's body has increased. 300 plus instances of SCP-2695T have currently manifested in the forehead needle cluster, connected by 6 needles protruding from the subject's forehead. Epidermal tissue and ligament growth in the forehead cluster is abundant and reveals no illness or disorders. Subjects show signs of malnutrition, and previous symptoms of atrophy are fully visible. Date: May 9th, 1969. 2695T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Orientation of subject's facial features have shifted at varying angles. 1,600 plus instances of SCP-2695T have appeared in tissues attached to the subject's forehead. Date: May 9th, 1980. 2695T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Subject's eyes, ears, nose, and hairs have begun relocation from subject's face to epidermal and fatty tissues surrounding SCP-2695T instances, namely the needle cluster connected to the subject's forehead. Subject still retains full sensory function. 2,800 plus instances of SCP-2695T currently exist. Date: May 9th, 1989. 2695T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. Muscle, cardiovascular, and nervous system has been heavily integrated with 4,000 plus needle cluster. Subject's facial features have not been severed from organ systems as expected and continue to maintain function while located in different positions within needle cluster. Subject's eyes and facial features are noted to hang freely from epidermis-covered instances of SCP-2695T. Date: May 9th, 1991. 2695T instances not available. Alterations in subject SCP-2695. All of the subject's organ systems have been integrated on various locations on the needle cluster, excluding their left leg. Subject attempted to communicate with personnel following a 17-year hiatus. Subject was unable to enunciate speech due to several epidermis-covered needles intersecting the subject's tongue. Subject's right eye appears to have been severed from their nervous system. Date: May 9, 2001. Subject now measures at 1.2 meters in height, 0.6 meters in length, and 0.8 meters in width. All previous instances of SCP-2695-T are believed to have been relocated to the needle cluster during subject's transfiguration. Further analysis of the continued function of SCP-2695's organs contained around SCP-2695-T's flesh nodules is underway, notably in subject's digestion endocrine system, which appear to remain functional. Containment revisions have been drafted to provide SCP-2695 with comfort before expiration, should it occur naturally. Site Director Avery Lennox. Personnel involved in the document's alteration have also alerted me to an unknown POI, Dr. Pritchard. There is currently no information on any Dr. Pritchard within our database, though I'm assuming there was. Personnel also involved in falsely documenting and controlling SCP-2695 have only provided the bare minimum in evidence in terms of proving that Dr. Pritchard wasn't just an anti-meme. This creates several reasons for concern, though I can assure personnel that this issue will be addressed by an undisclosed mobile task force. What you should focus on now is the security and stability of SCP-2695's subject, Lucibelle Perhacs. It's not improbable that Dr. Pritchard was able to wipe his history, much like how he wiped his presence in documentation interacting with the anomaly. Considering that they've chosen to leave the following interview log, knowing it's been tampered with or fraudulent, my personal conclusion is that this Dr. Pritchard is a sick individual, not a methodical anomaly, unfortunately, but a human.
Good afternoon, Perhacs number 1. I trust that you've been feeling well. I just decided to come by. Yes, the needle's done quite a lot more than I thought, but your skin's been more than enough. I've been able to use the samples for the majority of alizarin. So, no real pain in anything? This is good. That's how it's supposed to feel. Needles are really just tools for the clay. Look, this is gonna be... It really is going to be something they haven't seen before. And not to resent those above me, level 4 and a 5. I just believe there needs to be a change. The construction can't continue on this sort of base, is what I mean. If it should give you any comfort, your condition is providing a lot of information for me. I mean, not just for me, but information for the entire Foundation. I'm confident in saying that I'm going to make up for this, Perhacs number 1. Just call me Pritchard, ma'am.